What's up, everybody? You know what day it is. It's StarCraft Tuesdays! And today we have got a best of 5 for y'all. Today it's gonna be a TVP between our yellow Terran player, Kevin Lee, and his red Protoss opponent, Timbo Slice. Paella? Paella. And we have got some high stakes in this series. This series is to determine whether Africa is a country or a continent. So, Kevin Lee believes it is a country. Timbo Slice believes it is a continent. So there is only one way to settle this, and of course that is on the mean streets of StarCraft 2. First map gonna be Oxide. And to start things off, we've got 2 gateways out of Timbo. Cybernetics core coming down as well. And Kevin going for supply depot, barracks, another supply depot, and I don't think that's a full wall off, but I don't think it really matters in this matchup. Actually, I'm not sure. Is that that's definitely a hole, right? But it's not like there's gonna be Zerglings running in or anything, so he's probably fine. He's getting a Reaper after the Tech Lab, which is a kind of odd choice. You do not need a Tech Lab to get Reapers. I think Kevin should know that. So, weird move there. Kind of delays that Reaper. So, Timbo gonna have 2 Stalkers by the time that Reaper gets here. And I don't anticipate that Reaper getting anything done. We did see Timbo saying he is going air as per Brad's request. Brad, of course, being B-Breed. And now Reaper making its way across the map, and like I said, 2 Stalkers gonna be ready to greet it. They're gonna get some shots off, and indeed do destroy that Reaper very quickly. Look at his remains there as he gets swallowed up by the earth. So good job from Timbo positioning his Stalkers right here by the ledge and really denying the scout for Kevin. Although I guess he spotted everything he needs to see. I don't know if he clicked on that robotics facility, so maybe he doesn't know exactly what that building is, which could be an issue. Kevin gonna be going, what is he going? Multiple barracks, reactor on the starport, so that definitely implies bio. Most likely gonna be getting medevacs 2 at a time. And he does have his stim on the way. Scan goes down into the main of Timbo, so that's gonna confirm the Robo facility. Doesn't spot anything else because Timbo doesn't have anything else. He only has 2 gateways. Yeah, you definitely want more gateways. You really need to... Okay, 3, 4 coming down, but... Yeah, well, once again, the warp-in's pretty non-existent. 4 Stalkers so far. We've got the Observer making its way across the map. Gonna do some scouting, but might run into a missile turret. Maybe Kevin anticipating air. But looks like Timbo... Okay, he's gonna move in. So now he gets the information that it is bio. Gonna fly in a little bit more. Gonna spot the missile turret and run away. Ooh, takes a few hits, getting low on that observer. Gotta be careful. If Kevin spots it, he could drop a scan or just wait for this missile turret to finish. Timbo gonna need to move this observer soon. And he does. Good job there. Worker count 27 SCVs to 39 probes, so quite a significant advantage for the Protoss player, who is now getting charge for his zealots. His 0 zealots on the map, mind you. And in fact, he warps in additional stalkers, so that upgrade questionable. But most gateway-based armies do consist of zealots, so I do hope Timbo will get some, especially if he's investing the time and money into this upgrade. Kevin loading up for a 2 medevac drop. Now, last time he tried this, he flew right into stalkers, lost 20 supply in the blink of an eye, and lost the game shortly after. This time he is taking the long way around, not going to run into stalkers just yet, though we do see a bunch in Timbo's base. Now, is Kevin going to be able to unload? Is Timbo going to be in position to defend? We shall see it, but uh-oh, looks like Timbo moving out maybe a little, but gonna be out of position for this drop. Kevin does drop now and starts firing on the pylon, which gives it away. Gonna give the stalkers time to make their way back. Kevin stims in, gonna pick off 6 probes so far, and now the stalkers have arrived. 7 probes gone down. But that's gonna be all he can get. 7 probes for 16 Marines and 2 medevacs. I don't think that was entirely worth it. And Timbo still has the worker lead. 38 probes to Kevin's 29. Of course, mules are pretty good, but I don't think they can really close the gap. And, well, actually they did for a short time there, but now that they've run out, income advantage gonna be going back into Timbo's favor. And hold on, both players sitting at 69 supply. Whoa! Alright, no, it's 70, so that was short-lived. But another 2 medevac drop moving out. Is this gonna find more damage? It looks like this one heading for the natural. Cannon in place here, 2 cannons, and the stalkers also in the natural. Timbo gonna be making a couple more gateways. He has started his immortal production. Blink is done, so these 2 medevacs gotta be careful. As Timbo blinks in, 1 medevac gets dangerously low, is going to escape, however. So nice denial from Timbo. And Kevin actually sitting on a bit of a army supply lead at the moment, which is a little bit surprising considering he hasn't been mining that much. But also at the same time, Timbo has not been spending his money as Timbo do. 1,700 minerals, 1,300 gas, and he has plenty of gateways. He has charges on these gateways. He has a robo. So Timbo, you gotta spend your money or you're gonna end up losing to a pretty scary Marine army, to be quite honest. That's a buttload of Marines. That is the technical term for it. It's a buttload. Couple tanks in the mix, gonna keep the base safe from any attacks. So Kevin gonna be drawing this out, perhaps, or maybe he's gonna move out. But Timbo, he is macroing up. He's got 3 bases, but this army lead from Kevin is quite scary. 84 army to 48, and that's because Timbo has been investing into exactly this, the infrastructure here. There's the Nexus, the 2 assimilators, a bunch of pylons, a bunch of cannons, and that makes a difference. That's going to cut into his army supply, and I think this Warp Prism spotted that army and is able to get away with its life, so got that information nice there. So Timbo gonna be establishing a defense here at his 3rd base, and the longer this goes on, the more he's gonna be able to mine, which is very good for him, but he's gonna need more army quickly as Kevin is moving out. This observer coming in clutch, gonna spot everything. Upgrades quite even. Oh, Timbo's +2 just finished, so he's going to have the advantage there. And Kevin going to break down these rocks. Timbo, of course, has full knowledge of it thanks to this observer, and where's he going? Hold on. Okay, he is going to try to engage the army, and oh, Kevin leaves his tanks completely naked. 2 tanks going down before they can siege, 3 tanks going down. And now the Marines quite naked as well without the siege tanks, but Marines pretty strong, especially with medevacs healing them. Timbo goes for the aggressive blink. I don't know about that one. Ooh, that was not a good move. Kevin stims in, takes out the Immortals as well, and he's gonna keep it trucking. But these Marines very low on HP, all of them in red health. These medevacs working overtime to try to heal them up. Likewise, this shield battery healing up the shields on these 4 stalkers, and it's a bit of a micro battle at this point. More stalkers getting warped in, and that's going to make the difference. Timbo, you can overcharge this battery. I don't know if he knows what that is, but these stalkers going to be able to finally clean it up, and now Timbo with a substantial supply lead, 79. Well, it was less for Kevin before. Now it's 79 to 74, so a little bit more even. But again, the deciding factor is this 3rd base out of Timbo. So he's mining a lot more. And as you can see, it's been the Timbo show for the past 5+ minutes. Kevin gonna be running out of minerals in his main. Only 3 patches left, all of them very low on minerals. The natural still got all the patches, but gonna be running dry soon. There's a bunch of scans going down, and Kevin cannot like what he sees as he sees this 4th base going down as well. Kevin's gonna need to make a move, and it better be a good one. But he just doesn't really have a lot right now. I mean, this army is pretty good with the tanks, but keep in mind he has to keep a few of them at home for the defenses. And Timbo, he is pretty content to just sit back, macro up, get his 4th base up. And Timbo even going for storms. Does he even have any High Templars? Oh, he does have 5 of them. So storms can be very, very devastating against High Templars. Sorry, against Marines. Storms from the High Templars. And especially if you can't split as well, which a non-turn player probably can't. Even some turn players can't split that great. So Kevin gonna be moving out once again with a sizable force, a good amount of Marines and 5 tanks with it. Timbo gonna have to be very careful around these tanks. Last time he got pretty lucky, I would say, capitalizing on the misposition, but now all the tanks are sieged up, and this is going to be very difficult to engage. One High Templar drops a big storm. Massive damage on all those Marines. Another massive storm goes down, and Timbo just wading into the tank fire. He does not care, but maybe he should have. These tanks blasting away. Some more Stalkers gonna warp in. Aggressive blink going down to clean up all the tanks and almost all the bio as well. 3 Marines and a lonely Marauder is all that's left. 5 medevacs gonna try to heal them up, but that's not really gonna be enough. And Timbo once again gonna clean this up by the skin of his teeth, it looks like, as his army down to only 11 supply, curiously enough. Not really sure how we got to the situation, but Timbo is massively behind in terms of supply, despite his 4 base economy. And he is floating a lot of minerals once again. Gas is rather lacking, as he has warped in an additional 4 High Templars. Kevin does have a 3rd base now, finally, dropping some mules there, and he's going to be floating his main over to a 4th location. So, economy going to be evening up, actually. And Timbo, his army is just pathetic, simply put. 28 army supply, that's it compared to the 85 of Kevin. What is you doing, Timbo? He has so many minerals, but he's warping in a ton of... Okay, well, 4 High Templars that are going to convert to Archons, a bunch of Zealots, which is nice to spend that minerals, but once again, I think his production is just not enough. Only has 7, I think, gateways. No, he has more here, so actually he should be able to warp in more, but you gotta be careful. You cannot engage like this, and oh my god, Timbo, I think Timbo just lost the game. Oh my god, he engaged with not all of his army running into tank fire, and Kevin with his stimmed bio and medevac support anchored by devastating siege tanks in the back line. Gonna obliterate this 4th base, and Timbo, he just doesn't have anything left. He's got a handful of Zealots, and that's about it. Some more Stalkers desperately trying to warp in, but the army supply heavily in favor of Kevin, and oh! Tries to go for a Doom Drop. That could have been one way to lose the game as Kevin, but does not fly into the Stalkers. And now tanks in the front are going to get picked off, but the bio in the back, just too strong. Stimmed bio, medevac support. One tank actually survives all that, and Timbo is in such a bad position. It looked like he should have been able to win the game for most of the game, but now he is in a very dicey spot. He lost his 4th base, so only effectively mining out of 1 base, and he's going to tap out, so Kevin going to take the 1st game. Welcome back to game number 2 in this battle to determine the classification of Africa. Kevin Lee is currently up 1-0. That is, of course, our yellow Terran player. And his opponent, the red Protoss Timbo Slice. Looked like Timbo had a pretty good grasp of the game last game. He had a better economy for most of the game. He had more bases for most of the game. But once again, the spending let him down. And the engagements. You cannot just willy-nilly walk into tank fire. Not when there's 4 or 5 tanks sieged up. Not when they're backed up by a substantial bioforce. What could Timbo have done better? Well, I think his unit composition could have used some work. More zealots. Zealots are the frontline units that are meant to kind of soak up the damage. They charge in there with their charge upgrade, which he got very early on, mind you, and they are just meant to rush in, soak up some damage, soak up the tank fire, and allow the Stalkers, the High Templars, etc. to safely blast away from the back. I think he perhaps committed a little too much into High Templars, which he didn't really protect well enough. He casted some storms and then allowed them to die. So, second game, let's see if he decides to change anything up. He did say he was going to go air last game, which he did not. And game number 2. Starting things off pretty same, I would say. Only difference being single gateway as opposed to double in the last game. But he is chrono boosting that Stalker to defend against the Reaper, which might allow the Reaper to actually run in and get a full scout out. Not that there's much to see. And Timbo went for a pretty fast natural expansion. Kevin, of course, walling up his front, but not going for an expansion of his own. In fact, he is going for a fast starport and fusion core. And that means battle cruisers! But Timbo getting a Stargate, getting 2 Stargates, and that's what he needs to counter battle cruisers, and this one Reaper getting 2 kills by just walking into the natural. And oh, bit of a fake out there. Pretended like he was going for the cliff, forced the Stalker to walk up, and again, oh, Kevin with the juke's gonna find another probe. Nicely done there by Kevin, and this time he does go for the cliff jump. Timbo gonna have to warp in another Stalker, and this Reaper gonna finally get trapped. And oh, actually, is he gonna be able to weasel out? No. Does go down, exploding in blood and guts. But got 3 kills. Scouts the double Stargate, and Kevin's still gonna commit to battle cruisers as well as Yamato. Now that's kind of curious because he did spot the 2 Stargates, even spots the Void Ray producing. And Void Rays, the natural predator of battle cruisers, with their prismatic alignment, they can deal damage very quickly. So first battle cruiser has arrived. It is operational, and it's gonna be flying across, so He's going to be able to save that teleport to get out of dodge later on. And that's going to be very important because these two Void Rays can dish out a lot of damage very quickly. Timbo even going for +1 air weapons for his Void Rays, of course. And now Battle Cruiser gonna show up in Timbo's natural. Might get a couple probes while the Void Rays try to get in position. 4 probes going down, and the Void Rays gonna start beaming down the Battle Cruiser, and it's gonna be able to warp back home and get repaired up. And behind all this, Kevin has gotten his natural expansion as well. Once again, slow with the orbital upgrade. I do think that should be like the priority. Don't quote me, however, I'm not a Terran player, but 150 minerals, and then you can drop a mule, and that mule will already make that money back for you. In any case, second battle cruiser gonna be coming out shortly, and Kevin also gonna be producing Vikings 2 at a time. Not sure why. Vikings don't exactly counter Void Rays either. In fact, nothing from the Terran arsenal, at least from starports, really counters Void Rays. And from Timbo, he's just continuing to pump out Void Rays, and that's exactly what he needs to do. He doesn't need to deviate. He's going to be getting his fleet beacon. And is he going to use this for the Flux Veins upgrade? Yes, he is. So he's going to be getting the speed upgrade for his Void Rays. And honestly, I think he should just stick to Void Rays for now. Doesn't need to go into carriers or Tempest or anything like that. Void Rays will do just fine. Gotta be a little careful though. This is only 6 Void Rays. You don't know what Kevin might have. If they just fly into a couple Widow Mines, things could be real bad. Of course, Kevin doesn't have any, but this air fleet from Kevin, not too shabby either. Vikings aren't the best unit against Void Rays, but I mean, good amount of Vikings with the battle cruisers. I don't think Timbo wants to take that fight. Loses a Void Ray very sloppily there. Flux Veins has completed, so these Void Rays are gonna be pretty speedy. Timbo setting up his 3rd base. And floating a lot of money once again. I wouldn't mind seeing a 3rd... Oh, there it is. A 3rd Stargate, maybe a 4th Stargate as well. Timbo, spend your money, Timbo. Okay, that's one way to spend your money. Throw down a bunch of pylons, cannons, shield batteries. So he's gonna defend this base pretty well. A couple scans going down to spot the main, natural, and this potential 3rd location. Of course, Timbo took this base, so Kevin not gonna be able to get the full scout. He doesn't know exactly that Timbo has a 3rd. But likewise, Kevin has his 3rd command center, not really doing much at the moment. Is going to lift off and land at the further away location. Not sure why. He could just float it here, which is a lot closer. But Timbo going to be moving out once again with a fleet of Void Rays. Going to beam down a couple SCVs as well as that building refinery. Might find a couple supply depots as well. And Kevin gonna warp in with some battle cruisers. I wonder if Timbo could have taken that fight, but maybe doesn't want to risk it. His army count, pretty even, 54 to 59, so perhaps neither player really wants to go for the frontal engagement. Timbo kind of just sharking around with his Void Rays. He knows he has the speed advantage. And gonna activate Prismatic Alignment, and look how quickly that base burns down. You need to cancel that though. Okay, nicely done there. Single Yamato goes down on one of the Void Rays, but that's not enough to kill it. You need two. So Timbo gonna be able to get away with all of his Void Rays intact. Looks like Kevin wants to look for a fight now as his air fleet makes its way across the map. And does Timbo have a scout of this? He has a observer, but it's not following the army, so he might get surprised by this. Void Ray's gonna be forced to fight now, and fight they do. Couple of carriers in the mix as well. And Kevin doesn't even want to deal with it. GG. Wait. Timbo doesn't want to deal with it. And Kevin takes the victory? Wait, what happened there? Alright, so we're loaded into game number 3 in this battle for the classification of Africa. And our Yellow Terran player is currently up 2-0. It's Kevin Lee. And a red Protoss who is down, Timbo Slice. Now, I think that we got a bit of a premature GG last game. Timbo was fighting the air army of Kevin and he kind of just tapped out. And I'm not entirely sure who was gonna win that, but I would favor the Void Rays in most cases. So I don't know what was gonna happen, but I definitely think that was a bit premature. Timbo also had the upgrade advantage, if I'm not mistaken. Very odd game there. In fact, I initially thought it was Kevin who had GG'd. But nevertheless, here we are. Game number 3. Kevin is up 2-0, and if he wins another one, then it is official. Africa is a country. Timbo gonna have to do better. I mean, honestly, I thought I thought he had an excellent chance in the last 2 games. And even the last game, he had a bunch of Void Rays. He picked off the 3rd of Kevin. He was transitioning into carriers, which was maybe a mistake. I think Void Rays, just mass Void Rays would have been better, but I still don't think that was a lost game. Now Kevin making his way across the map with a Reaper once again. Not gonna find any natural this time around. And gonna be wasting some precious seconds here. Gonna allow the stalkers to come out. And this time Kevin going for something a little bit crazy. Just a little off his rocker, perhaps. It's gonna be a Ghost Academy. What? I don't even know if Kevin knows how to use ghosts. I don't know if he even knows what abilities ghosts have. But now the Ghost Academy is done. It is researching Cloak, and that is pretty cool. Look at that, like I don't know what gas that is, but it's probably radioactive. And second barracks gonna go down. No ghosts being made just yet. Kevin doesn't really have the gas for it. Ghosts are fairly expensive. And Timbo, he is going for 4 gateways. Only just now getting his expansion. Gonna be setting up a proxy pylon and gateway, in fact. And this one Reaper making his way back in, harassing the pylon. Gonna draw the stalkers out. And I thought he was gonna rotate around and jump in, but I guess not. And Timbo gonna start warping in across the map now. And what does Kevin have? He has a single ghost. Ghost reporting. And nuke being researched. So Kevin looking to get a little bit cheeky. He's hoping to drop some nukes on the Protoss base, but I don't know if Timbo's gonna let him. He's warping in a bunch of stalkers here, and what does Kevin have for defense? Not a whole lot. 2 ghosts, and ghosts are not the best fighting units. They're good for like surgical strikes, you know, like kind of like their name implies. They just hide in the shadows, they snipe, they nuke. But the stalkers have arrived. They're gonna start blasting away at, well, not a whole lot. I mean, they get some damage done on the factory, but kind of wasted their time there. 3 ghosts. They're gonna do their best to shoot down the stalkers, but they do take a while to kill stalkers. And in the meantime, 12 SCVs have gone down. This base is gonna go down as well. Some more stalkers gonna continue working on that factory, I guess. And they're gonna make their way up into the main, and this has gone all the way bad for Kevin, who tried to go for something a little bit crazy. I commend him for the effort, but it was definitely not meant to be. 29, 30, 32. 37? And all the ghosts gonna go down now. Gonna try to drop a nuke in his base, but so what? Kevin has 0 SCVs left. The Ghost even canceling the nuke. And why no leave? As the cloak runs out of energy. And oh, never say die. And yeah, that's it. That's game number 3. Timbo's gonna put his name on the board. Keep his hopes of calling Africa a continent alive. Welcome back, folks. This is game number 4 in this best of 5 series, and our red Protoss player who took the last game to put himself on the board, it is Timbo Slice. And his yellow Terran opponent who won the first 2 games, Kevin Lee. So despite winning 2 in a row, I think those first 2 games were very close. They definitely could have gone Timbo's way. So I hope Timbo is not too dejected. Is that the right word? Hopefully with that last victory he gains some confidence, some momentum. And maybe we can see this go to a game number 5. Now the openings here, I mean, not too much to talk about. You can only really open one way. Both players doing standard stuff. Timbo going for 2 gateways once again. Kevin gonna be getting his barracks and a gas, so quick factory going down. But still just a single gas, so I don't anticipate any type of starport rush. So what does a factory tell us? It could be just a siege tank for defenses. Maybe they'll start the tech lab on the barracks, so maybe he'll be swapping that over. We'll have to see. Timbo, he does have his 2 gateways ready. Cybernetics Core just finished up. He's going to start off with 2 Stalkers right away. Pylon in position for the natural base, as that will come up shortly. And actually going to be stim from that tech lab, so going to be a bio build once again. Not sure what the quick factory was for, as he's not going starport, he's not going tanks, he's not. Alright, now going to be getting a tech lab, so perhaps it will be tanks, but kind of a questionable timing for that factory. I don't think he needed to get it that quickly. Going to be getting a Marauder out of the barracks, and might need a couple more barracks if you want to go for a bio composition. Just saying. And Timbo gonna be once again going for a Stargate. This time gonna be getting an Oracle. switching things up just a little bit, and actually an Oracle can do a lot because nothing that Terran has currently can shoot up. Now normally you would probably have Marines and the Oracle probably wouldn't be able to do too much, but in this case it just might. Timbo also going for a robotics facility. And I wonder if he's going to commit to any type of Immortals or Colossus tech, or if that's just going to be for observers for the vision. But let's take a look at this Oracle, follow it across the map and see if it can get any damage done. How many SCVs can it get? I think it's pretty much a guarantee that it will get some kills. The question is how many. I predict 6. 6 SCVs. Let's see. It's gonna fly in, activate the beam, and get to work. 1 goes down, 2 very low. Timbo, oh, not really microing against the weakened SCVs. 4 goes down, and gonna get repelled by a single Marine? Alright, I mean, guaranteed damage is better than nothing. 4 SCVs. I think he could have gotten a couple more, especially with these 2 very low SCVs. That would have been 5 and 6, and that would have made my prediction correct. But Timbo, of course, not going to give me the satisfaction. And indeed, we do see an observer making its way across now. Gonna spot the natural base. Double scan going down just to see what Timbo's up to. Kevin is gonna be aware of these tech structures now. And did he spot that Twilight Council? He did. Now, did he click on it is the question. The robotics bay going down as well. So what's that going to be for? That will obviously allow Colossus to be made, but I don't really like Colossus against tanks. Of course, they are pretty good against bio, so it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And no, it's not going to be that. It's going to be Disruptors, which can be very powerful in the right hands, but they are a little bit more micro-intensive. So it's going to come down to Timbo's control of these swirly balls of death. And natural base, pretty nicely saturated. Might want to put some guys on the gases. Thank you. And charge being researched as well for, once again, his 0 zealots. And I think a lot of times in Timbo's case, and sometimes lower league players, they tend to overmake these high-tech units like Disruptors, like Colossus, and they don't have enough of like the meat and bones of your army. You do want to primarily be gateway focused. So you want like a bunch of stalkers, a bunch of zealots, maybe a few sentries if you're up for it, and then like a few disruptors in the back just to supplement your army. You don't want them to be your main army. So double robotics facility, kind of odd. Meanwhile, Kevin has just been dropping scans like crazy. And he has been going for a Ghost Academy once again. So Kevin determined to make Ghost work. Ghost, of course, can be very powerful against Protoss. They have that EMP ability, which pretty much eliminates half of the Protoss health in an instant. It just wipes out that blue bar, their shields. So a couple ghosts can absolutely decimate any Protoss army. If Kevin uses them properly, we can see a very quick fight when it finally goes down. Timbo now starting his double Colossus production. Another 2-3 scans going down from Kevin. Not really using his mules, which is going to cut into his economy quite a bit. He's been dropping scans like crazy. And once again, Timbo not getting the Thermal Lance upgrade. Really, I've mentioned it in previous casts. It's your own fault at this point. The Thermal Lance, of course, extends the Colossus range to, I think, 9? Is it? 8 or 9? Which is very significant. It allows them to just blast their beams from a relatively safe distance, and it makes it a nightmare for Bio to engage the Colossus. Without the upgrade, I think their range is like 6 or 7. Still decent, but not nearly as scary. Now Kevin going for a cheeky 2 ghost drop. He does have a nuke, I think. What does he have? He does have 1 nuke, yes indeed. So this could be a little bit crazy as the medevac makes its way in. Gonna drop off the ghost, and let's see what's gonna happen. Oh, they do fire, so it's gonna tip him off. Now ghosts do have an ability in their card thing that's usually here to hold fire, but now the nuke goes down. Does Timbo see that dot? He should have seen it. Does pull his probes away, so nicely done there. I don't think he lost any probes. And now this 1 ghost, not really sure what to do with its life. The medevac has abandoned him, and as soon as this observer gets close enough, blah, never say die. So, ghost drop, cute idea, but did essentially nothing. Tickled the shields of a couple buildings, but they're gonna regenerate. And Timbo sitting on a nice lead right now. He's got the worker lead. He's got the army supply lead. He's got the base lead. I mean, yeah, it's 3-3, but Kevin's not mining out of this one yet. And yeah, things looking pretty good for Timbo right now. Much better than in any of the other games, to be quite honest, but you never know. Kevin floating a lot of resources, 2,800 minerals. Jeez Louise, throw down like 6 more barracks. Gonna be focusing pretty heavily on Marauders, actually, which are pretty good against Stalkers, against Colossus even. They're kind of okay. They're better than Marines against Colossus. And of course they have that concussive shell ability, which he did not research. Oh dear. Concussive shells, it slows down your enemy's units when they are hit, and that'll prevent the retreat, or at least make it more difficult to retreat. And Timbo positioning himself for an attack, gonna send out a couple Purification Novas, gets 1 siege tank for free. Second one gets pretty low, but was not in range. And Kevin gonna stim in, try to get the disruptors. Control by Timbo, not perfect, as he kind of lets the disruptors get ahead of themselves. And did he attack his own unit there? Yeah, that's definitely the remains of a Protoss unit, so a bit of a misclick perhaps. And curiously enough, Kevin has taken the army lead. 115 to 95. So, I mean, both players not really producing the best, but Timbo sitting on a lot of money right now, and oh my god, this is very difficult to watch. He's sitting on 3,600 minerals, almost 3k gas, but where are the units? 2 Colossus get started up, but once again, that's too many high-tech units. He already has 6, he's going to be going up to 8, and the meat and bones just not really there. Kevin looks like he is moving out now, and Timbo gonna spot it. That should set off some alarm bells, and he should be warping in stuff right now, but he's just chilling. He's just like, yeah, I'm fine. Let me just slowly make my 2 Colossus. No chrono boost or nothing. These gateways all inactive. They're not doing nothing. Gonna finally be warping in 8 zealots. But once again, the production just non-existent. Oracle getting 8 SCVs, which is nice. But the army lead, this is getting scary. The army substantially better from Kevin. 151 to 116, and I'm worried that if and when Kevin decides to move out, he's just gonna clap the Protoss army. And Timbo looks like he wants to move out himself. I don't know, man. I'm gonna try to drop a proxy pylon here. He has one here. But where are the units? You've got so much money, Timbo. You really need to spend your money. This is very scary. Scans galore going down. Kevin gonna spot the army moving out, and not gonna move out. Actually, drops a bunch more scans, and now gonna be moving his army out, and this is scary, but actually he doesn't fight with his tanks. Kevin's army suddenly not that good. Timbo walks in, picks off the base, and backs out. Nice catch there, but once again, I don't think he's produced any units for the past like 5 minutes. And is there a way to check that actually? Yeah, look at this army size from Timbo. It's been flat ever since here, right? It's just been flat. And then he lost a little bit, and it continues to be flat. Kevin hasn't been doing great either, but he's been maxed. So he gets a pass. Now Timbo finally warps some High Templars in, gets a few Archons, which is nice, but I still think his composition is a little too focused on these high-tech units. 8 Colossus is a lot of Colossus. These Stalkers, not really enough, and where are the Zealots? There are no Zealots. There's the Zealots. As he went for a drop, I think. 4 SCVs go down. Probably wasn't the most worth it, but it draws the attention away. Can be useful, and Timbo has a bunch of minerals, so he can afford to just throw some Zealots away. I wouldn't mind seeing some more gateways, because if he loses some of this army, he's gonna have to remax, and he doesn't really have the gateways to do so. How many does he have? There's the 6 here, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 gateways is actually a lot. So that's a good number of gateways. He could still use a few more just because of how rich he is. But it looks like Timbo wants to move in. Walks right into tank fire once again. Gonna lose essentially all of his Stalkers. And this is what I mean. You need those gateways to remax. And 10 High Templars. I don't think that's the move. Yes, Archons are good, but they are slow, they are clunky, they don't have great range. And you need stuff to protect them. They are very expensive as they cost 2 High Templars each. And you need more Zealots, you need more Stalkers, you need stuff in front to protect these high cost, high value units. Vikings gonna land and blast away at this pylon in the middle of the map. Kevin building his, or landing his command center right next to this pylon. And both of them just kind of chilling. Both players, neither one wants to really do anything about the other. So yeah, we don't have to look at this screen for any longer. And once again, army supply of Kevin is quite a fair bit better. 157 to 117 out of Timbo. Once again, Timbo not maxing out despite his massive bank. Oh my goodness. I need a nice cold Coke to relieve some stress after this game. Timbo gonna be making a bunch more Archons, and again, I don't think this is the right composition. This is too many Archons. They're gonna like clump up. They're gonna block each other. They're not gonna really be able to get up close, and most of them are probably gonna die before doing anything. Both players maxed, and both players look like they want to finally move out. Timbo does have the vision of this, and oh wait, he could have pounced on the tanks before they were sieged, but now he allows them to get sieged up. Gonna move in, and I'm not really sure what's happening. It looks like Timbo does have the lead in this fight. The splash damage from the Archons is very powerful. That went a little bit better than I expected for Timbo. And now he is left with a bunch of Archons. It doesn't look like he wants to press the issue. And where were the ghosts from Kevin? It looks like he wanted to be cheeky with that one drop, and then he just forgot about it. A couple EMPs on that army would have made a world of difference. Of course, Archons, they're essentially all shields. 350 shields, 10 HP. Timbo going for a slow warp in at this pylon. Look how slow those guys warp in. And Kevin, bit of a mistake not turning this into a planetary ahead of time. Might even lose this if he's not lifting it. And indeed it goes down. Nice pick off from Timbo, who is sitting comfortably at 182 supply. Kevin far behind, only at 102. And Terran buildings, they just produce so slowly. Even though he's trying to get these Marines 2 at a time. And these Zealots might get another base. Once again, no liftoff from Kevin. Gonna lose that base as well. And these handful of Zealots, they've been worth their weight in gold. Taking out 2 bases. And GG does get called. So Timbo gonna tie things up 2-2, and we are going to game number 5. Welcome back, folks. This is the 5th and final game in this best of 5 series. We are all tied up 2 apiece. Our Terran player who took the first 2 games but lost the last 2 is Kevin Lee. And our Protoss player who lost the first 2 games but brought it back in the last 2 is Timbo Slice. Now let's get things started right away because Kevin is sending an SCV across the map. And where's it going? Here at this potential 3rd location. Gonna be dropping a barracks, no doubt, but it looks like it's only gonna be one as this SCV all by his lonesome. So it's not gonna be a heavy committed all in, I don't think. Timbo gonna be going for single gateway in this game, it looks like. Or maybe not, moving another probe in. Second gateway does go down. And that's gonna help in the defense. Double refinery going down. And still only 1 barracks, so I do anticipate a quick factory. And I wonder if we might see a double starport this game. He hasn't gone for it yet this whole series. Maybe it is time to whip it out in game number 5. Reaper gets started from that proxy barracks, and second barracks gets started, but it's going to be so slow. I can't imagine it's going to be too impactful. But both gateways are ready. Timbo's waiting for his cybernetics core before he can start his stalkers. But the Reaper is already done. Kevin, is he going to jump in? Looks like he's going to wait for the second one. And that's going to give Timbo time to get the stalkers out. Bit of a supply block there, delaying them just a few more seconds. Chrono boost going down on the warp gate as well, but he needs these stalkers ASAP. Second barracks does finish up, so gonna be getting Reapers from there as well. We do see the factory going down at home, and even a 3rd barracks. And Timbo gonna scout it with this probe. And now that he has that information, I mean, I don't really know what he can do differently. But 2 stalkers gonna be in position, gonna pick off 1 Reaper, and that's crucial. That's 1/3 of the Reapers. Kevin, 3rd one just finished up again, back up to 3 Reapers, and they're gonna go into the natural, which Timbo did cancel. I don't know about that. I mean, I think he could have kept that. It would take Reapers a long time to kill a Nexus, but Timbo deciding he needs more defenses. Gonna throw down another 3 gateways in his main base. But behind this, Kevin does have his factory, getting a tech lab there. But no starport, actually. He's not even fully mining out of this refinery. So perhaps just going to be a siege tank for the defense in case of a counterattack. And yeah, we do see the siege tank being produced. And quite a janky little wall, if I do say so myself. Not sure why there's like this little pouch thing. But bunch of Reapers, bunch of Stalkers. I do favor the Stalkers in this matchup, but you do gotta be a little bit careful. Timbo trying to micro, and he does do well enough to trim down the Terran army, but still gotta be a little bit more careful. A nice micro out of Kevin, pulling back the weak Reapers. 2 very weak ones. But they do go down. And now Timbo with another warp in, gonna clean that up. And now these 4 barracks in the middle of nowhere. The few Reapers and Marines to lose their lives there. And Kevin gonna lift up the barracks, try to fly home. So nice defense out of Timbo, but you can't forget that he has no expansion. Meanwhile, Kevin is getting his. Kevin also has a siege tank for the defense. So a counterattack probably won't be able to kill Kevin. But Kevin trailing by quite a bit in terms of supply. And now Timbo arrives. He's gonna try to capitalize on these tanks. Does get one, and going for the second one as well. SCVs get pulled, but they are fighting, not repairing, and GG gets called. Timbo gonna take the series in a reverse sweep. And that's gonna be it, folks. Africa is indeed a continent.